We live in a moment where we do what we have to do for the people that we love. The old rules just don't apply. Now, this is a quote from the character Katie Bowman, played by the actress Sarah Wayne Kais, from the series Colony. We've used this before. I catch a lot of grief on this channel for using a lot of Hollywood references, and that's probably a fair assessment, but does it make the statement any less true? Especially given what we're going through in this country right now with the housing crisis and inflation, everything we're seeing from the woke left, the endless wars, that no matter what, you got to take care of your own. You've got to make whatever decision is best for whatever group you're trying to protect, whether it's just you and a mate or kids, grandkids, whatever it is. But I have a theoretical question. You see, over at Patreon, about 10 days ago, we put up a video that focused on clearing out government spies and informants from your survival groups, whoever it is that you have around you, and how they have this simple Achilles in our world that's an indispensable strength in theirs. Now, if you'd like to join us on Patreon, it's only $1 per month. That's for all the videos. Even less if you sign up for an entire year. Comes up to like 90 cents. And if after 3 months it's not for you, that's all fully refundable. Would love to have you over there. But here's my theoretical question in a grid down situation. I'm sure many of you have something in your basement or in a pantry or an extra room that looks approximately like this. Some kind of a survival stash. Now, if you were in a situation where you had done the math and you had 6 months worth of food, let's say, but then somebody knocked on your door, say a couple weeks down the road, and said, I noticed you out working around your property, and a lot of us here in the neighborhood, we've lost a ton of weight. You don't seem to be. I don't mean to be overstepping, but if you have any extra, could you share? If not for me, could you do it for my children? Now, I'm sure a lot of people would try to be as magnanimous and helpful as they could, but there would become a point when many would say, no, I'm sorry, I can't risk my family running out of food to protect yours. Here's a small sack of groceries. Please don't share this with a bunch of people. I can't afford to have the entire neighborhood knocking on my door. We'd run out tomorrow if that were the case. I guess my theoretical question would be, at what point would you stop answering the door? At what point would you threaten violence if someone didn't leave if they were hungry, asking for food for their kids? Now, I'm sure that's different, and nobody would want to be different, meaning from person to person to person. And no one would want to be in that situation. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Because it'd be an awful thing, knowing that you had to go to bed tonight with the knowledge that just down the road, 4, 5, 6 houses away, a child was going to bed hungry, and you had cans of food in your basement that were meant for your kids a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, because you'd made this preparation. Some say, Florida Maquis, don't you dare try to guilt trip me on this. I made these decisions. They didn't. They should have prepared when they had a chance. It's not my responsibility to feed the world. It's not. If I want to gain 150 pounds and be diabetic and prepare myself that way so that I have all this extra fat on me for the eventual grid down that's coming, that's my business. It's a free country. I mean, my job is to pop as many tin cans off of hay bales as I can and pretend it's about fighting and not about just shooting. And I'll store up as much as I can. It's a free country. Now, as far as the Hollywood accusation, the vast majority of the people accusing me of using too much Hollywood believe in this almost as if it were a religion. Red Dawn Rising. But what if I told you that this idea, this same energy, was found in virtually every Hollywood reference I have made in the last year? Wait a minute, hold on, Florida Monkey. You've been talking about prostitution and infidelity and all this kind of stuff. That has nothing to do with beans, bolts, and Band-Aids. What if I told you it had directly to do with it? In virtually every circumstance, you would do anything to protect your loved ones. Yes or no? If that means a kid 2 blocks away has to go to bed hungry tonight so that yours doesn't go to bed hungry next week, that's just tough tiddlywinks. That kid goes to bed hungry tonight. Your kid is not going to bed hungry 2 weeks from now. I'm sure the vast majority is like, yep, that's right. My money, my preparation, I did it. That's the case. They can just suffer. Okay, now keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. You would do anything, right? You would do anything to protect your loved ones. Anything to keep them safe. Now, here are the 5 major Hollywood references that I've made that a lot of people have castigated me for. Said, Hollywood's not real, Mucky. It's not real. You can't go on that to predict what would happen in reality. Well, really? Let's start in the upper left. Revolution from 2012. The main character, Tracy Spiridakis, the name of the actual character in the series escapes me. Charlotte is her name. In 2 seasons, on 2 separate occasions, she is forced to get into prostitution to get out of whatever trouble she's in. Now this is, yes, it's Hollywood. In the first particular case, she's trying to find her brother. And there's a guy who has information that she needs. So she agrees to go pretend she's a prostitute to slip up close to some other guy and kill him as a favor to this guy so that he'll give her the information that she needs to go find her brother. And that's exactly what she does. Remember, you would do anything, no matter who it harms. You would do anything to protect your loved ones. In the second season, she gets in a little bit over her head, and her mouth writes a check that her ass, pardon the term, has to cash. She reneges on a deal, and they take her and put her in a trailer and make her work off the debt that way. Now, this is NBC. This isn't some Skinamax pay-per-view kind of nonsense. This was on NBC. But in both cases, doing what she had to do for the ones that she loved. That's example 1. Example 2, Defiance. This is post-apocalyptic. Yes, it's Hollywood. I get it. But once again, what's going on? It's centered around a brothel. And the brothel is run by this character doing what she has to do to keep food on the table for everyone around. This character gets in some trouble and disappears. Well, guess what? The character's sister steps in and switches jobs, just as if it's no big deal, to do what needs to be done to help find her sister. She has to keep the place going. So she goes from being just a normal everyday person to being a lady of the night just overnight. But why? Same reason you would say no to the hungry kid 6 blocks away. You're doing what you need to do to protect those you love, no matter who it harms. Black sails, pirates, prostitutes, survival. It needs almost no explanation whatsoever. Colony, the one on the bottom. One of the best psychological twists I've ever seen. This woman needs insulin for her kid. and in essence prostitutes herself to keep the kid alive. Finds a guy that she knows can get the insulin, romances him, and end of story. Now, Walking Dead, what if I told you they did this, but they did it in the game meant for kids? There's a Walking Dead, the game, season 1, where there's a character that literally does the exact same thing. This character has a little sister that needs insulin and diabetes, and she prostitutes herself in a kid's game. In a kid's game. Cartoon game. Survival game. Today you have everything you ever wanted. I suppose we can only guess what tomorrow will bring. Now, Jericho is a whole nother story because it's prior to the internet. But believe me, had they continued, they probably would not have been able to avoid the entire paradigm. But isn't this the same thing? When you say, I will do anything to protect my family, anything at all, no matter how bad it is, I'll do it. No matter what it takes. You see, I serve a God that leaves the 99 to go find the one lost sheep. If it were me and my home, I don't care how many children knocked at the door. If there were food to be shared and the child was hungry, the child would be fed. I don't care if they're 6 blocks away. I don't care if they're 16 blocks away. My Bible teaches me, Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. In John 4, Jesus answered a woman and said, everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I give him shall never thirst. The water that I will give him will become in him a well of water springing up to eternal life. There's no storm that God won't carry you through. No bridge God won't help you cross. No battle God won't help you win. No heartache God won't help you let go of. He's so much bigger than anything you will face on any day. Leave everything in his hands. Embrace this day confidently because it's the only one we're guaranteed to have. And that's really the key here. We are only guaranteed today, knowing that he will take care of you. This is my point. We are not promised tomorrow that you would allow a child to go hungry simply based on the desire to feed your kid 2 weeks from now when you don't even know if the day after tomorrow is coming. That's not what my Bible says is the right thing to do. Absolutely not. If you have it in your power to feed the hungry, you feed the hungry. I've mentioned I've had a little puddle of chlorine out in the back. I could probably let go to the point that it was probably potable. No one coming asking for water would be turned away. Under any circumstances, would that be the case? You see, if we go back to, see if we can find the right image here. The one from Colony, where the woman finds this guy who can provide the insulin and romances him for that. I don't know many women that wouldn't do it for anybody's kid. If a girlfriend or an acquaintance or a family member said, hey, I know a guy that my kid's going to die. And I know a guy that has it, but I only know one way to get it. I don't know many women that wouldn't try. They might try asking, they might try begging, they might try bribing. But if it came right down to it, dead kid versus self-esteem usually doesn't, there's no contest there. And like I said, it's in Revolution. It's in Defiance. It's in Black Sails. It's in Walking Dead. It's in Colony. If you continue to look at it, at what's going on in Hollywood, you see, it's people that write these stories. It's human beings that write these stories. And it goes to their mental state, their psychological state. That when things get bad, how bad does it get? And what would or would you not do? See, to me, that's a bit of a dilemma. In the sense that it's one of the things they did in Defiance. She just, in the second season, stepped into the role as if it was any other job. It's like she quit the job at Walmart and went down the road to Costco and decided to run the register there instead of at Walmart. That's all the bigger deal they made of it. It was a job just like any other job. It didn't matter. The only thing that mattered to her was getting her sister back. So why would it be any larger of a dilemma when the Bible says we're not guaranteed tomorrow? So why do we lay up treasures for ourselves on earth as if we know we're guaranteed? As if we know for a fact we're going to be here tomorrow. So, anyway, I will leave it there. He leaves the 90 and 9 to find the 1. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.